Mason is saying he's a little early, so.
Oh, okay, thank you. And the chestnut, yeah. Thank you. So how long is the meeting there for?
As long as it needs, really. But I thought it's short.
Yeah, I don't need it
Generally,
longer, sure, I'm just interested.
Generally, over.
About an hour.
I've got. So with the size of our board, we need 3 for a quorum. We haven't officially sworn in.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's actually the first one. So. I wonder if we can just open the. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's give it a minute or two.
Who else should we expect?
Arrington?
And
Well, usually the Public Works has somebody here. They're not voting members. It depends on their workload, actually. And actually, the town manager should be in the mix as well, but that is also sporadic.
no, there's a vacancy on the board.
Yeah, that's my
I'm
understanding.
looking at this, I printed this out, well, this is in May. I printed this out.
That was a question on my mind. Maybe we could answer. Bill told me that he was resigning. I know that he told you. I don't know if he turned in a paper. I think I saw an email. I'll double check with her right now. While we're sitting here, accomplishing things, we need to get it. It's smart. Just one person. We need to get that seat. Yeah. Does anybody have any ideas? Well, but we don't need it. It's not official business. Maybe we can talk about it now.
Personally, I don't know. I mean, I can look around and ask, sure. I'm here because government asked me to be up there. He said to me, because you need somebody to have your thing up. You're right. Get it out.
It's very good to know. We need to find somebody else. Hello, Arnold. He resigned. He really should. Wasn't enthusiastic about being in the board. We need to get somebody.
I'll ask for it. Just thinking about it. Yeah, I see it right here. It's guys to the 31st of January 25. So it's a little less than 2 years. Not a big project.
No.
I made a commission.
I don't know about that, but we can go ahead and start meeting, and hopefully she will join us. Yeah, we don't, technically don't have to work, so. People need the water, but I don't talk about the stuff. I want to get ahead. Sworn in. Yeah. We need.
Yeah, I want to get paid. I want to get paid.
So. Let me see. When you're up, you just said, and you know. Hey, Harrington. Go ahead. Okay. Question for you, has anybody expressed interest in the vacant position? If someone does, they're going to me. Answer your question. Thank you for being. Okay, so I can call us to order. Harrington is on the way. Now I just guess there is. Yes, it's like months. Oh. I wonder if she live, I don't understand that. What is your being?
Are we gonna be live?
So. Tree board is. Is called to order. The agenda is sketched out here. If you all look over and see if there's any corrections that need to be made. And is there anything that you have in mind that needs to be added to the agenda? Would be the questions for the moment.
Looks fine to me.
So the minutes then submit them for approval. I'll say that we do now have a quorum, so we're good for that. At the moment, we have five voting members to the meeting. Quorum is half plus one. So three isn't supposed to do it, we get to that, so. So, any, you're okay with the minutes? Oh, man, I'm sorry, yeah, agenda, I meant.
I'll move adoption. Agenda.
Okay,
And I'll second it.
okay. Approved, no objection. We don't have public members at the moment, no public present. So take a look at that later if we have any visitors arrive. So moving down to reports, which I think will be brief as well. Mostly consisting of my report, and I'm going to incorporate some of what might otherwise go into reports and just incorporate that into some of our business. For me personally, Arbor Day was a somewhat of a mixed bag. People felt that the whole event was a successful thing. The land care people working on the native plant sale side of things felt really, really good about that. And since I think more than one people had put some effort into connecting with the Chestnut Foundation, they were present. It was really nice to have them there and resulted in some really good conversation, just informally, between between Chestnut Foundation people and various members of the community. So I felt very good about that. The rest of the tree stuff didn't get a lot of attention, but my focus anyway was on the chestnut side of things. So I felt okay about that. So I think all in all, it was a pretty successful day for everybody. The I have board organization. So I managed to embarrass myself last month by completely spacing out on the time and all for the meeting last month, and I apologize to everyone for that, for my absence. The thing that's on my mind about that, and it was reflected in the business side of things here, is that I think that our board needs work. We're down one member. We don't have anybody yet who's applying for that position. And you know, I think to be a functional board, we need to have, you know, because if we're small enough that if we're missing two people, we can't meet really. And I think that's true. And so my personal feeling, and I'd like us to discuss this, is does it make sense to try to enlarge the size of the board so that we can have better functioning? I've felt that during the time that I've been chair of the board, this has been like a constant issue, because we were minimal in number last year, And a couple of the people that were technically on the board for various reasons were very sporadic in their ability or willingness to attend. And that really impacted the way we could function as a committee. So I think that we should be doing everything we can do to enhance the size of the board and the functioning of the board. So that's as a chair, that's my report. That's my concern. So looking at the agenda, having said that, we don't have a town manager present at the moment. We don't have somebody from Public Works present at the moment. So I think we can move on to what's listed as old business.
I have a comment.
Sure.
An organizational thing. I think five's a good number if there are 5 active people. If we need to, I don't know, maybe we do or don't confirm that the town manager is going to show up, that the somebody from maintenance is going to show up. I mean, I think it needs to be done before we sit here at 9:30 and wait. Who's going to show or not show? I think 5 working members with those types of people knowing they're coming or not coming. I don't see expanding the board as a solution really to.
Yeah, let me just speak. I think my experience, and I've not served on the board long, but that generally somebody from Public Works is usually here. I think they're dealing with this problem there this morning. They're trying to get in contact with the State Wildlife Agency. It really is a public safety issue going on back here.
Right.
So I really think that's the only reason they're not present. Right. The town manager, because Ben has not been necessarily at all the meetings, but he doesn't even work on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not one of the days he's typically here. I think he is here today, but that's because of a budget emergency that the town has got to get its budget in. I'm not apologizing, it's just the facts. Town has had to get its our town manager we replaced, as everybody knows. Ben is in temporarily. We're behind the ball in meeting a deadline to get the budget in by, I believe it's the 20. It's like it's today or tomorrow, the next day. It's right now. Otherwise he would be here if he's physically here on Tuesdays, but he's not necessarily physically here.
But those 2 people, they're not voting members, correct?
They're not voting members.
So we're talking about the 5.
But I do think that getting 5 people attending is important. We can certainly look at getting an increased number. It's going to be difficult to do because you've got to revise the ordinance. That's going to take convincing all the members of the commission. Not that you couldn't do that, but I think one thing I'd like to take a look at, Mr. Chairman, is perhaps and it may be just me, but I'm not sure that early on Friday morning is necessary. A Tuesday morning is necessarily a good time. I just see it constant. I'm missing something constantly.
So yeah, so just a couple of things here. Yes, it's true that town manager and Public Works are ex officio members of the committee and do not vote, so that doesn't figure into the issue of quorum. The 5 members we do have is 3 at-large members, which is you, Ed, me, and Arrington. No, not Arrington. Actually, the person that is the vacant position is an at-large position. And then there are 2 that are kind of in there, which is the commissioner and also the chair of the land care committee. So the 5 members are them. Arrington is dealing with the bear issue this morning. She said she'd be along as soon as she could. to what you're saying, I'm not, I don't remember what the bylaws say about what day we meet, but I'm fine about changing it myself, so. We, pretty much any time as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'll check the bylaws. It's something, I don't think it's, well, I'll check the rules of procedure. I don't think it's not discussed. I think it's not. I do think, when I was, before you out of the room, we need to make sure, I don't think Philip was really committed to the free board, and that's not critical, that's just, it's sometimes hard to find somebody, so anybody will say yes, but we're wrong, but we really need somebody that's, committed to working. Needs fine.
Yeah, and in my communications with Phil, it's a mix of issues with him, and at the time that he agreed to be on the board, we were meeting under COVID rules, and it was possible for someone to attend via Zoom. But now that the rules have changed, you have to be present, and he always knew that he wasn't going to be there that consistently. So that was the reason for his resignation.
Hey, Harrington.
Oh, that's all right. Come on in. Thank you. She's here, and Ed has been sworn in as a meeting, so we have four. Okay. So is there anything we're gonna need to vote on, because we need to vote while we have,
I don't.
well, one thing, at least as a matter of agreement, part of, I said, I said in my report that, the Chestnut Foundation, we had a good conversation with the Chestnut Foundation. And part of what came out with is they've got this video that they've done, which is I understand really a nice quality video that gives history about the Chestnut issues and such. And the thought that was coming up in conversation with Chestnut Foundation people at the plant sale was that we should have a screening of that here. My idea is to try to have for the whole community and bring people together, have a screening of the video, and during that time, mostly talk up Chestnut. Because we've got this exciting thing that's happening with Chestnut, which is that it's actually maybe within this year going to start being possible to have blight resistant trees.
It's a great idea to screen the video. I don't know how much interest we'll have, but we'll have some interest. I think. It's a great activity to put on. So, do it in this room.
So various people have I've talked about this, and folks were suggesting, well, do it during summer when they're having their meeting, when the Cottagers Association is having a meeting. But I've checked with the chair of Cottagers, and that's really not a feasible thing as far as they're concerned. So my thought then is that we target sometime in the late summer or early fall when we can have as many people in town as we can do.
October's a very good month because you have got a lot of people here, but they're not doing everything they're doing in June and July.
Okay. So
everybody's focused on the trees in October anyway.
Right.
Everybody's focused in October on the trees because of the color. It's a good time to plant trees.
Yeah, and actually fall is a good time for planting trees, so. Okay, so I think that is a yes. I'll work on getting the planning going on that. We'll all need to work together to get it going. Thank you.
I apologize.
Yeah, I understand. We have bears. Oh. I thought about that.
So we can adjourn a meeting with just doing this?
I'd like partly just for the record, I'd like to spend a couple of minutes talking about items but since we've lost our quorum, we need to, we can't vote on anything.
Well, I think we should concentrate on getting that other member.
Yes,
I don't think that should be very hard.
I'll send out a
Somebody-
message about that. Yeah, if you know of anybody has some interest in trees, who would be interested in joining us, I think the thing to do would be to certainly talking to them from your own perspective, but also have them contact me.
Sure.
And
Let's try and get that filled by the next meeting. Should not be very hard to find somebody in 30
I
minutes.
hope so. I did, and I recently, I saw something, well, didn't Black Mountain have a tree board? And it turns out Black Mountain used to have a tree board, but they had this kind of problem, like they were having trouble getting enough people.
They got the
for
wrong
a
people.
meeting.
They got the wrong people.
Yeah. So what we need to do is find the right people.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be very hard to, I mean, I'll ask around, but I think we should make it a goal to have that position filled by June 26th.
I think
And
that's
have them
good.
sworn in at that meeting, where we may be right back where we are today.
I think that's right. I agree.
So I'll ask around. It's not a big commitment in terms of time.
No, it isn't.
1 hour, hour and a half every. once a-
Planning for something like a community event will take a little bit more time than normal, but I don't know that even that will be a huge amount of time. Ivy League is this thing that we've done, and we've been having trouble doing it for last year and this, getting things organized enough to start doing the Ivy.
Well, there's a
And
lot
again,
on the new business with only, well, 4 members, which one of them is a commissioner and he's very busy.
Mhm.
So now you're down to 3 of us. That's a lot for 3 people.
Yeah.
To do all, but I think it'd be good if we got that position filled by the end of the month, by the next meeting, and maybe we should just concentrate on one project
That's kind of
Do
my
it
feeling too.
successfully.
It's not,
and start as a starting point.
so, the conference center and the land care committee and the college would be the 3 groups to talk to both about the showing of the movie, but also do they have people in their spheres that would be interested in?
I'm sure they do.
So,
I'm sure they do. We can come up with one person.
I'll be working on that,
Okay.
and I'll contact the other committee members about. When it's a functioning committee, there are basically 3 officers: there's a secretary, a chair, and a vice chair. And then a situation has happened last month. What if we had had a vice chair, we could have had a meeting without me. So that's another reason to have this all together. So in brief, those are the things that are set for us.
What about the budget?
I submitted,
Okay.
I forgot that I submitted for that. Normally it's an extremely small budget. We've asked the town to to join, for the town to join the Chestnut Foundation.
Yeah, I see that for
As
$1,000.
Yeah. And,
You said you submitted the budget already?
yeah.
When did you hear back?
The due dates were upon us, so. I just wanted-
No, that's fine, but I'm saying,
I haven't had feedback on that yet, basically. They don't communicate much, but I expect they'll have it. But joining at $1,000 level is gives us 10 seeds as our reward for joining. And they may even be resistant to.
have you been members in the past?
Yeah. We're
Same.
currently, we're members at the $300 level.
What did we get for that? Oh, okay,
Pretty important.
so it's $100.
Yeah, and it's just sort of a little funky thing.
And they're, did they get planted in town already?
Yeah,
They do.
I haven't checked. They came to Barry, and he planted them. I think they may still be in pots. At this point, it was only a few months ago before they arrived, so,
Oh, okay, so,
yeah, that's a good reminder. Also, I should check with Barry. But, yeah, I think that engagement with the Chestnut Foundation is something that people in the community will like. And can help us get some energy going for everything. I included the other thing, was just a little bit, I think it's $100 that I put in there. It's for expenses, sometimes we have publication costs, but they're never very large, so. This is not a committee that really has much need for a budget. So I was also thinking in terms of education stuff for the committee. Some opportunities come up for us to learn about trees, chestnuts and whatnot. It'd be good to have access to some funds for that. I don't know if that's a problem as far as the town council is concerned. I've never known them to not be willing to support something that makes sense. So. See what we do. So, that's about it.
all right, I think what we'll do is we'll concentrate on getting with member. I mean, today was unusual, like you said, because Tom Man's busy project, Mason had to leave early. Everything that, never get to see. So maybe on June 26th, we'll have five of us here.
That would be,
And we'll have somebody from the Department of Maintenance, Public Works. We'll be dealing with an emergency. So it should be a good meeting.
yeah. So, thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, great. All righty. So we don't have to adjourn.
Hmm?
We don't need to adjourn.
Well, I'll do that officially. Okay. Just, we're adjourned. We can't vote to adjourn because we don't have a quorum anymore. But
Alrighty.
thank you very much.
All right, good to see you, and I'll start asking around.
Yeah,
Not that way.
yeah. And if there are any developments or anything that I could be helpful with, just send me an email or
Yes.
whatever.